Exactly 1 year ago today, the FNAF Security Breach Files book came out. I intended to read it when it first came out, but Tales Book 2 came out the same day, and I wasn't able to read it soon after reading Tales 2, which was of course the priority. I intended to read it quickly, but for some reason I just didn't. I pushed the video back further and further until finally I decided it's been so long that I might as well wait for the 1 year anniversary of the release. I have of course heard terrible things about the book, so what I plan to do for this video is talk about the issues that I noticed when reading the book, both in terms of content of the book as well as surrounding information about it. This book is one that people pretty much universally ignore, and some even forget it exists. Obviously, I'm an entire year late, so everything I talk about has probably been talked about before. I'll constantly basically just be making fun of the book, so if that's not what you want to see from the video, that's fine. This video is kind of just for fun. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. The first thing I want to mention is the simple existence of this book. The existence of this book is honestly completely pointless. See, books like The Ultimate Guide are good because there's a big overview of everything in the series, including plots, gameplay mechanics, Easter eggs, theories, and everything. The big problem with this book is that all it is a recap of Security Breach. While it does include gameplay, plots, and Easter eggs, the fact that it's only of one specific game and doesn't include theories and only talks about objective things about the game just makes it a bit pointless. Everything in the book can be completely discovered by just playing the game or watching someone play it. Like I said, The Ultimate Guide is good because it spans the series, but this book only spans one game and only includes general knowledge that everyone knows about, and also just doesn't talk about or talks very minimally about very important parts of the game, so I don't see the point of it being made in the first place. Number 2. One good thing I will say about the book is that I think the overall design of the pages in the book and the cover are really good, but what I find weird is the lineup of characters on the cover of the book. Of course we have Freddy, Chica, and Monty, but you would think that since they're 3 of the 4 main characters of the Pizzaplex that the cover would also include Roxy, but no, instead it shows Vanny. Now yes, Vanny is one of the main characters of Security Breach, but at the same time she kind of isn't. Yes, she is pretty important for the story, but she has like 2 minutes of screen time. And as I said, the book cover also has 3 of the 4 main Pizzaplex animatronics on it, so why wouldn't the 4th one be on here? Hell, the back of the book also shows the exact same image of Vanny, so why not just keep that Vanny image on the back and instead put Roxy on the cover? It's just kind of weird to me. Number 3. As we start reading the actual book, problems already start cropping up. On the very first page of the first chapter, the book talks about the experience of being at Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex, mentioning the stage shows, rides, arcade games, and food. The book says that the game follows a day to remember for Gregory that turns into a nightmare he'd later want to forget about. The problem with this is the fact that not only does the game not imply at all that Gregory was in the Pizzaplex for fun before Security Breach, but that also contradicts what we actually know about Gregory. We now know that Gregory is not a normal kid, as he was possessed by Glitchtrap at some point, controversially possibly a robot, and is also homeless. Gregory was definitely not in the Pizzaplex for fun before Security Breach. He was also trying to escape from Vanessa, and if he was here for fun, not only is there little to no reason he would have to escape from her, but even if there was, he could have just left out the front door. It seems implied that Gregory was staying in the Pizzaplex because he had no place else to stay. But no matter the case, context and surrounding information confirms he was definitely not here for pleasure, so the book clearly got that wrong. Number 4. When the book first introduces us to Gregory overall, it talks about all the ways to avoid the animatronics, but mentions that there's sometimes scary sections where the only thing to do is run. This is incorrect. These parts aren't scary. Book is wrong. Number 5. When the book starts discussing the animatronics, it talks about how Freddy was the only one to get fried during their performance, and mentions that the other 3 animatronics are still on the prowl trying to stop intruders. The book here indicates this to be part of their programming, which is mostly true, but the problem is that earlier in the book, the animatronics are said to be malfunctioning. So it first says they're malfunctioning, but it then says they're just following their programming. Doesn't entirely make sense. Number 6. On the same page where it mentions the animatronics using their security protocols, we see the designs of the neon signs of the animatronic screen rooms in Security Breach, showing Chica's, Monty's, and Roxy's. Now, this may not seem like an issue at first, but if you look at Chica's, it actually says Chica Chicken. In the February trailer of 2021 for Security Breach, Rockstar Row did have Chica Chicken written above Chica's green room, but in the final game it was changed to say Glamrock Chica, so the book kind of just takes the wrong information in this instance. It also shows the words Chica Chicken on the images of the inside of Chica's green room later on in the book. Number 7. On a page talking about Chica, a voice line from her is shown on the page. A voice line that says, hey, are you having fun yet? Are ya? The problem is that this line is not from Chica. Chica literally never says this in the game. This is a line from the game, but it's not one that Chica says. It's a line that Sun says, although he says Arya one more time at the end. I'm not really sure how they messed this up, but somehow they did. Number 8. I think one of the biggest problems with this book is how it's literally out of order. I noticed this in earlier sections of the book too, but I think when it becomes just outrageous is when the book starts talking about 1 a.m. One page starts talking about Lil Music Man, which by the way I love that that's his name, but later on in the same page it mentions Vanessa catching us at the end of the hour. Then it backtracks on the next page and starts talking about the loading dock, which is before Vanessa catches us. But even more strangely, the next page after that goes back even further to the Pizza Bot section, which is before the loading dock. There's many other instances of this happening in the book too. For example, we learn about the moon section of the game before the book tells us about Sun, despite seeing Sun before the moon section. The book just straight up is written out of order, and that's one of the biggest issues of the book. I don't know why it's like this, but it is. Number 9. When the book mentions Moon appearing at the end of 2 a.m., it claims that Gregory suddenly remembers that Moon appears at the end of every hour, and then Moon shows up right on cue. However, that's just not what happens. Gregory doesn't suddenly remember Moon, he simply sees that Moon is literally right there. He only makes any mention of Moon when he sees him, saying, oh crap, it's that horrible Moon thing again. Like the Chica voice line, I don't really know how they could have messed this up. Simply watching 5 seconds of this part of the game reveals that this book actually gets it wrong, and just makes it a little bit unbelievably coincidental, which isn't in the actual game. Number 10. When the book starts talking about Fazer Blast, it claims that the game is like Capture the Hill. Instantly, I recognize the issue here. First of all, I don't think Capture the Hill is a thing. King of the Hill is a thing, but it's nothing like Fazer Blast, and Capture the Flag is a thing, which is what Fazer Blast is actually based on. But Capture the Hill, at least from my research, just straight up doesn't exist. Maybe I'm wrong, but either way, the game itself literally says that Fazer Blast is Capture the Flag, so I don't know how this was written, proofread, and published without anybody noticing. Number 11. When talking about the West Arcade section of the game, it's said that Gregory will be chased around the West Arcade by either Chica or Monty, depending on which one he decommissioned. But that's not true. No matter which one you decommission, both of them are always in the West Arcade and attack you. Monty stays on the bottom floor and Chica at the top unless you get spotted and they chase you. But who attacks you doesn't depend on who you destroyed, both attack no matter what. Number 12. The book states that the security badge in the West Arcade is the level 7 security badge. However, while it is technically possible for that to be the case, that's not what happens for most people. In a typical playthrough, this one should be the number 6. The reason for that is because there's 2 areas of the game where you can go one of 2 ways, and both of them have their own individual security badges. Because of this, you're most likely to only get 2 of the 4, leaving 2 to be left behind, meaning by the West Arcade security badge, you're probably only at 6, not 7. The only legitimate way to have reached level 7 by this point is to go back and get the badge in the kitchen if you went to Super Starcade at 1 a.m, or go back to the Super Starcade if you go to the kitchen at 1 a.m. Yes, it's pretty easy to do that, but it's not likely for people to pick doing that over progressing the story unless it's not your first time playing. Number 13. Fittingly, the final issue with this book is on the final page. Before getting to the actual mistake, it's worth mentioning that considering the Mimic's existence, it's heavily debated whether or not the corpse on Burntrap is William Afton's. Either way, this book says that it is, and also says that Burntrap himself is Afton. Whether or not this is actually true is debated, as I said, but in the case that it isn't true, that's another problem. But the book also mentions that Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place is FNAF 6, but it refers to FNAF 6 as Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator. Obviously, it's not a huge deal, but it's definitely worth mentioning that FNAF 6 is actually called Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. Similar, but it's still wrong. But those are all of the issues that I noticed in the Security Breach Files book. As I said, this video was just for fun, as most people kind of just forget the book exists at all, but I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys!